What's up YouTube? This is Kokorin TCG back with another video, and today I will be showing off my second place Magus list. I lost the grand finals to Pale Moon, which really hurt. I kind of started hitting a Morikawa hand, and that matchup was extremely hard. But I fought a lot of Aqua Force, I fought Spike Brothers, I fought some Gold Paladins, and yeah, so I pretty much saw all the top dogs in the meta. I saw some E-Rads as well, and this deck was able to clutch out wins. Most of my sets were 2-0 except for one where my opponent took me to game 3, and then my grand finals I got 2-0'd by the Dreamy Fortress. So let's go over the list, guys. Also, if you guys noticed in the thumbnail, this list did also give me a 13-game win streak. This was a very similar version of that. The only difference was that I had 9 crit instead of draws and stands, because in ranked you can be a little bit more aggressive and get away with it. But for tournaments, people are a little bit more passive, and I think stands just combo way better and kind of give this deck a triple threat feel. Let's go over the list though. Of course, like I said, 4 draw, 5 stand, and 4 heal feels really solid. This deck actually draws quite well, unlike the Amaterasu Crossride deck where you really need to rely on your Apollons and your Libras to draw. Aka those counterblast to draw 2 cards abilities. With this deck, you have great pieces like one of your main Vanguard rides, Floral Magus, which its effect, you declare the name of the top card on the deck, and then if it's that card, you get to draw it, and then it also gains a nice 5k boost, so it gets really big and it can make your hand really big. I like this card simply just to refill that hand. It allows me to push aggressive plays in the early game and commit a lot of pieces. So I really like Floral Magus. The other main piece that helps you draw is Stellar Magus. Stellar Magus, counterblast 1, declare the top card, and if it is that card, you get to draw it. Otherwise, it gives you back your counterblast, and now you know the top card of your deck. Stellar Magus being an amazing combo piece, combos well with a lot of the pieces that I'll go over later in the list. The starter choice, I chose Lozenge Magus because you have your break right on the heel, and so Hexagonal is going to allow you to look at the top 3, gain a card from there, so add it to your hand, and then put 2 of those cards back in any order. So it allows you to set up your stack and give you extra cards, can help you find extra grade 2s or PGs if you're missing them. But because this is on heal, because there's not really anything else to put on heal, then the Lozenge is just a nice way to replenish that, and that +1 you get for using it as a booster is actually really nice, being able to draw that extra card. In the grade 1s, I'm playing 4 copies of Circle Magus, 1 copy of Cocoa, 4 of those crispy new SPPGs, thank you SP Metals, and then of course 4 copies of Crescent Magus. To go over the grade 1s, the new PGs are nice because it allows you to get your break ride and use those skills as soon as possible. I really don't think you should be playing any of the old PGs and any of your OTT decks at this point. I'm playing Cocoa as a 1-of, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't rank up that season, but if you have more, play 2 to 3. She's really good early game to filter, but in the late game, you're really only gonna be using that reveal top card effect to get off your Stellar Magus draw, your Pentagonal Magus extra crit, or even your Crescent Magus boost, so it becomes a 9k booster. So I think this is really good in the late game. Cocoa is really good in the early game. If you have more space for this, I would say play more. And then probably the most important grade 1 is Crescent Magus. This is a 9k booster when you call the right card on top. And so it's just a really great way to confirm Tom. Tom can now hit against MLB with a booster and no trigger now, which is absolutely amazing. So those MLB Ashley break ride players will get punished by Crescent Magus plus Tom. In the grade 2s, I'm playing 3 Silent Toms. It's that nice sweet spot. Don't think you really need more than this. If you have 2, then you should still be able to play the deck. Just add an extra 12k attacker. On that note, I'm playing 2 12ks because I don't really want to deal with MLB or that new Jewel Knight grade 2 that becomes a 12k defensive on your turn. It's really annoying to deal with and requires you to commit a booster, which can be scary sometimes. This is going to help clean up that matchup. I'm playing 4 copies of Stellar Magus, which, like I said earlier, she's your main draw piece in the grade 2s, and she combos really well off of Briolette, and then Crescent, a nice combo you can do. is with your pentagonals and your stellars, you can put Crescent behind and swing boosted. You use Crescent Magus first to confirm the top card, and then you can decide if you want to draw the piece with Stellar, or if you want to draw the piece and go for the extra crit with Pentagonal, making it easily the best booster in the deck. We have Briolette, which Soul Blast 1, put this card on top, and then you get to draw a card from the top of your deck. This is really strong, guys, and it really helps out with cards like Floral, Pentagonal, Stellar, and Crescent, making sure you can get the proper buff boost, making sure you can draw when you need to, and helping you build card advantage fairly early in the game, and even into the late game as well. In the grade 3s, I'm playing 4 Floral Magus, which is not limited to once per turn, Counterblast 1, to find that top card, draw it if you call it right. Amazing to refill the hand if you push really aggressive in the early game. 4 Pentagonal Magus, which is an amazing finisher. This deck kind of has the stand triggers, the silent toms, and then that extra Pentagonal Magus crit as this nice trifecta for pushing for lethal. And I really like that. And finally, of course, the 4 copies of Hexagonal Magus, and we cannot forget my unofficial mascot, Chibi Amaterasu. I think basic Amaterasu is probably your best backup ride. You do have 8 ride targets, but if you have to ride this does confirm the top card for you, which means it combos the best with all the cards in Magus out of all the other support cards for OTT. And that is the only reason why I'm playing it. You could play the cross ride if you want, but I really feel like Amaterasu it's the one. It's your 13th card. But anyway, guys, this is my list. I had a lot of fun testing this. 13 game win streak on ranked, only 3 VP farmers, and a 2nd place finish in a pretty stacked bracket, guys. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this list in the comment section below. I'm going to do a couple of ranked games just to kind of show this list off. Let's get to it.
Don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment. The more comments you guys leave, the better the content is for you guys. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I really love doing this, and hopefully you guys love my content too.
Okay, so let's see how this goes. Typically, as a good rule of thumb, you send all the grade 3s back. Just with this deck, it really benefits from those extra grade 2s you get in the early game. And it looks like we'll be going up against a Genesis player here. Finding myself a Floral, this is why we put back all grade 3s, and at least that's how my luck kind of foils, is that I need to put back all my grade 3s in order to maximize my hand. That is a PG. Very unfortunate we won't be able to draw it. Probably the biggest downfall of this deck is that on that turn 1, if you're going first, it feels really bad. You don't really have a great going first play. If you go second, at least maybe then you might hit a trigger and do something, but going first feels really awkward for this list. I had to get some water there. Putting that starter behind means I don't think they're able to fix themselves into a grade 3 if they miss here, so they have to have it here. My opponent actually opting to play some draws, so they might even deck out. Who knows? Yeah, I'm gonna lose that PG. A little unfortunate. It was actually kind of funny. I crafted 3 PGs on day 1, and then I hit my first SPPG on that day 1, but when I went to day 2, I actually ended up... How did it go down? That's right. So when I went to go pull some more on the day 2 with the extra packs I had, I actually ended up getting 2 more SPs, and I just decided to craft the 4th here. Typically, it's a good rule of thumb to always call PG. I haven't seen a Briolette, so I'm going to call Briolette. It's a Floral Magus, which is pretty cool, so we do get to draw. Into a stand trigger, a little awkward. My opponent also hitting a defensive here. And so it's kind of, this deck does have a very slow and methodical early game. I was also able to find the Briolette finally. And so as you can see here, playing more than 5 draws can get really hairy in the early game. If you see here, I'm already on the verge of decking of Overdrawing. And so you really don't need that many draws, which is why people like Different Fight and some other content creators pushed for like 9 crit, because you do draw quite a bit. Okay, very nice SP for my opponent. They are not putting respect on this deck's name. It looks like I will get pushed to 3 here. Also, because this isn't Tsukiyomi, people just usually don't respect any OTT deck with Tsukiyomi. A little unfortunate, but it also means you can get away with quite a bit too. I did notice that during the event, some people really just didn't respect the fact that I could lethal them if they put me to Break Ride, and I was able to steal a lot of games that way. My opponent's going to be able to steal a Tom from me. Sorry about that. Okay, where's the top call? Okay, there's another Tom, I guess. I'm actually going to commit a pentagonal here. Floral might be the better option. I can always ride into pentagonal later. I'll ride the floral, because then I can also commit one of these. I'll go ahead and use Briolette here just because I can redraw it even if I draw into more grade 3s. Found a stand trigger, you hate to see it. That's really fine though. I do know the Briolette is on top right now, so I can honestly do like this. If I manage to find another stand trigger on top, I can have a little bit of fun here with this. I'm gonna go ahead and swing like this, I think. A little awkward here. Gonna call it Briolette. I could have given it the Boost here, calling with the Crescent first, but it doesn't really matter here. Sometimes it's reassuring though, just to see what you would have got on top with Crescent. Just another Stellar, so we're chilling right now. It's still a 1 to pass, and it's not too terrible, so let's go for it. If we get the 1, we do get the 1, so we will be able to push my opponent to 4 here. If they don't play 2 grade 2s, then I am at potential lethal with Tom, which is really good. Unless they heal. Okay. So as you can see, just like every other OTT list that's ever existed, a lot does go into this, and this isn't the playstyle for everyone. I personally like playing a deck like this just because I play this game a lot. I host events. I see Vanguard Zero every single day, 7 days a week. So decks like this are really just nice to play. Gives you a lot to do with your time. I feel like if I played something like Aquas or like Erads as like my main deck, it'd be a little bit I feel like the game would get staler much faster. Not to say that those decks aren't fun, but it's just the game plans are a lot more. I guess every deck is a little linear in this game, to be honest. Let's see here. Don't know why they opted for this. They do know that I draw a ton of cards. I hope they know. Another pentagonal. So I'm losing my stand triggers here, making me regret not playing the pentagonal last turn, but I should be fine. So this game, the way my opponent's playing, I can probably get away with a Tom just because their hand's massive. They're already down to 18 and we haven't seen a single trigger yet, a single PG, so at least not that I've taken note of. A ride skip here. Another cool tip for you guys is putting a crescent behind Vanguard is really good. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I can use Briolette's skill as well. Find myself a PG, and let's double check how many cards I have in the soul. I have none. Activate skill. Call Briolette. And if I want to do any more drawing, then it's gonna have to be a random call, which is totally fine. I know for sure I do want to play this 12k. Let's activate the skill. I haven't seen a single circle Magus since my first turn. It is a stellar. A stellar would be nice to draw. I'm gonna go ahead and actually draw out the stellar. Okay. So I will go ahead and grab the stellar here, just as an extra auxiliary grade 2 to play. Won't be able to get off its skill here, but as you can see, Floral Magus spends a lot of your time bars, so you really gotta have a game plan when you use it, or else it's just not going to be a good time for you. I have one stand left in deck. Would be nice if I hit it. Should be fine. I did find the extra PG. I'm going to just call it PG here. Stand trigger, let's go. We do find the stand. It's going to be able to snipe one of those PGs out the hand this turn. That's really good. No trigger for my opponent. Doesn't matter if I find the boost or not. I do have to call though. This is also another downside. I'm just gonna say it's a heal. I haven't seen any. So my opponent does have the PG here. And so right now we're kind of teetering on lethal if they can't find a heal, which if we take a look, they've only gone through one, so it's very likely. But if they can't find a heal, it's really good for us. It's really good for us. If you take a look at their soul, they do have the one copy of Chamomile. So they will be able to reset one column, or at least the front part of one column here. It's going to be able to also draw. Won't really help them with Silent Tom being a thing, but I can see where they're going with this. Okay. And like I said, these games get really long, they get really grindy, so just kind of part of the job of playing Magus. If they heal again, then I will need to find another way to draw into grade 2s here. It's only one PG. I am a little bit worried. Let me check. They have Iwanaga Hime on the draw, the Soul Blast 6 retire my whole entire front row. So it's a potential that they have more than one copy. Okay, just gonna push the one here. Looks like they're gonna pass. But that also means with 2 PG, assuming 2 PG, I should be fine. Find another Briolette here. That's pretty nice. Gonna go ahead and ride skip. Stay on the floral. This just is a really good game for floral. I might overdraw from this just a little bit. I misplayed. That happens sometimes. We'll fix it. Good thing I had enough in the hand to get away with that. Okay, we're gonna swing. We're gonna go ahead and swing again. Nothing. Finding ourselves the heal at this point. If this Tom does not go through, I will have to rely on Pentagonal and my very, very shiny PGs. I'm gonna go ahead and swing for game. I'm just gonna call the top card. I think it's another heal. That's what we want. It's another heal. Tom goes through. And my opponent heals here, so the game's gonna go a little bit longer here. I do have a nice defensive coming up. With my luck personally, they always heal when I Tom them. It's just kind of how it goes, so I have to always plan for the heals. I have one more Tom in list, so that extra Briolette call is starting to backfire just a bit. Okay, grade 3. Another grade 3. We're in the clear. We should be able to push lethal next turn. Okay. I can definitely see them using the skill here. They, even though they only have one chamomile in here, it's still really good. They probably should start hitting my PGs. Okay, he's gonna go ahead and use the limit break skill. No heals left, but definitely looks like they have 2 PGs in hand. Definitely looking like a pentagonal turn. Yep, gonna go ahead and use that skill. SP Chamomile looks so good. Finds the draw trigger. Is this 9 draw? Yep, 9 draw. Respect. Respect. Okay, my PGs are gonna come in the clutch here. This deck often finds the PGs, very rarely do I not find PGs. Okay, it's gonna push me to 5. Whipped heals, not gonna go off. Was a nice defensive just in case. I'm gonna go ahead and call final turn here, especially after top decking another Timmy Tom. This is definitely looking like game. Let's do it. I'm actually gonna ride Pentagonal. Going to ride Pentagonal here because if the Tom doesn't go through, then I kind of have to. It's a little awkward. It's a little awkward then. Currently no stand triggers, just draws and heals at this point. I could go ahead and use this skill. I think that's worth using. Just in case. Okay, we're gonna swing. We're gonna try to Tom them for game again. I don't know if it's gonna go through, but we're gonna call PG. Another Crescent Magus. I still will draw that with Pentagonal if this doesn't go through.
Perfect.
And no heal. Second Tom does go through. Alright guys, that was a really long game. I think we're going to call it there. But if you liked what you saw today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Vanguard Zero content. This is Kokorin TCG signing off.